Get ready for the 2019 Sustainability Expo.
The rental housing code is in full effect.
And we've got an update on the city's 311 service.
All that and more coming up next on Tacoma Report.
Hello, and welcome to this edition of Tacoma Report. I'm Laura Proctor.
And I'm Angie Foster. Tacoma's new rental housing code is now in full effect. The law, which added tenant protections, was passed at the end of 2018 to address the changing rental markets. The code applies to all landlords and tenants in Tacoma and includes a relocation assistance program to help low-income tenants move when their tenancy is terminated due to their dwelling being demolished, substantially rehabilitated, or having a change of use. For more information, visit the city's website. Effective February 1st, Source of Income is a protected class in the city of Tacoma. The addition of Source of Income expands the fair housing protections to renters who use alternative sources of income and subsidies to pay for housing costs. This would include any lawful, verifiable income that comes from sources other than employment, such as Social Security benefits, retirement programs, child support, or other federal, state, local, private, or nonprofit administered benefit programs. If you feel that you've been discriminated against in the city of Tacoma, call 311 to be connected with the Fair Housing Coordinator.
Tacoma Mayor Victoria Woodard has been appointed Vice Chair of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, Jobs, Education, and the Workforce Standing Committee. This committee focuses on the education and workforce development needs of cities in order to build a skilled workforce for a 21st century global economy. Specific areas include education, workforce development, and public service employment. The committee will also focus on at-risk youth, summer jobs, and youth employment and development, among others. If you're a minority-owned business in need of technical assistance and strategic business consulting, there's help available right here in Tacoma. Maria Lee has this story.
Thanks to grant funding from the U.S. Department of Commerce Minority Business Development Agency, Tacoma has its very own Minority Business Development Agency Business Center.
We are the only MBDA center that's run by a municipality, which offers a greater degree of flexibility, and we can offer support to businesses in any stage of their operation.
Tacoma-based Advanced Technology Construction has been around since 1999, and it's one of MBDA's many clients.
We're a general contractor, mostly in the federal space. We do industrial and medical applications. I have found the MBDA to be very competent, helpful. They are a great resource, and they have actually helped me impact my organization for the good. Things like proposal writing, helping me produce a great statement of qualifications. They've helped me find good subcontractors that are in Tacoma, that are also small businesses, minority-owned, that can get things done. They've helped me be a better general contractor.
Business like ATC, they've been established for a little bit, so what they're looking for is more of an advocacy and matchmaking opportunities with other primes and other large projects, and I think that's why we've been very successful.
Tacoma's Minority Business Development Agency Business Center is one of 44 across the country. For Tacoma Report, I'm Maria Lee.
To learn more about the services available through Tacoma's Minority Business Development Agency Business Center and to apply online, visit their website. After the break, we'll get an update on the 2020 amendment process from Principal Planner Steve Atkinson.
You won't want to miss it, so keep it right here.
Applications are being accepted for the 2020 amendment process. Here to talk about what this process looks like and how the community can get involved is City Principal Planner Steve Atkinson. Steve, welcome to the show.
Great. Thank you. It's wonderful to be here.
Absolutely. So Steve, can you tell our viewers what is the 2020 amendment application process?
Yeah, so 2020 amendment process is an opportunity for our community to apply for changes to the city's comprehensive plan or land use code. So the comprehensive plan, which we call One Tacoma, is the city's long-term vision for how we want our city to grow and how we want to try to collectively address the problems that we see ahead of us. So whether it's the affordable housing issues that we see today, things like sea level rise, climate change, as well as providing for transportation needs of our community. The plan is an opportunity to try to collectively look at how we're going to address those challenges and to build a city that works for all of its residents.
That's great, thank you. And so can you also tell us what kind of items people can bring forward?
Yeah, so often the kinds of amendments that we see from residents or citizens are things like applications for rezones, so that's an opportunity to look at the use of your property today, things that you would like to be able to do with that property, and ask for the city to revisit some of the rules and regulations about what you can or can't do. Often it's folks who would like to develop new housing or new commercial uses, but can't under the current regulations.
So Steve, tell us who can apply.
Yeah, so the application process is open to any resident, business owner, property owner, or tenant. So it's really an open process for anyone who lives in the city or works in the city to apply for changes that they think would make sense for our community.
Awesome. And can you also tell the viewers how they can apply?
Yes, we have application materials online. It's at cityoftacoma.org/2020amendment. And the application does ask questions about sort of how the proposed change would be consistent with the city's policies. So is it a policy change that someone is asking for, or is it a different way of implementing the city's current goals and policies?
Okay, perfect. And so one last question, Steve, can you explain why this is important?
Absolutely. So without going into sort of the broad range of subject matter that's within our comprehensive plan, I think I would sort of describe it that there's sort of three ingredients that go into the city's plans and regulations. And one is we do have lots of state mandates and state policies and rules that we have to follow. The second is we do a significant quantitative analysis to try to look at what our population growth forecasts look like, what kinds of challenges that presents for housing to service provision. But the third ingredient I think is really important. It's what is reflected here is the community vision and interests. And so community participation is a fundamental part of developing the plan, and it's a really critical part going forward that recognizing our community's interests and goals may change over time. And there may be different ways of trying to achieve the goals that we have in our plans. And so this is an open process and an opportunity for continued responsiveness and accountability to our community.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that information with our viewers, and we appreciate you being here today.
Great, thank you.
And we hope you'll come back and see us again.
Absolutely.
When we come back, we'll find out which Tacoma Police Department officers were promoted to detective. Stay tuned.
The Tacoma Police Department recently held a ceremony at its headquarters to promote 4 new detectives. The celebration was attended by families, friends, and many in the department. The officers have spent years with the department and are now detectives Welsh, Martin, Hellman, and Blackburn. The new detectives were sworn in by Chief of Police Don Ramsdale.
Today we had the honor and the privilege of administering the oath of office to 4 newly promoted detectives. Detectives that will serve in our Criminal Investigations Bureau. They are police officers that rose up to the ranks of our department, took a promotional examination, and now have been promoted to move on to the next phase of their career.
The department continues to hire, so the detectives' positions as officers will be filled by new recruits. To learn more about law enforcement jobs or to get more information about the Tacoma Police Department, visit them online.
In a time of increasingly polarized political discourse nationwide, nearly 60 Tacoma youth ranging in age from 14 to 18 participated in a 4-hour civility training program. It was conducted by the National Institute of Civil Discourse in partnership with the city at Stewart Middle School. The goals of the training included building interest and curiosity in civil discourse, demonstrating what civil conversations look like, practicing communication skills needed for collaboration, inspiring further action, and providing the tools and confidence needed for youth to lead future trainings. One way to engage with the city is to use the Customer Support Center. With thousands of customers served since its 2013 launch, the Customer Support Center has evolved to better meet Tacoma's needs.
We have strategically consolidated frontline city services into the Customer Support Center to provide an overall better customer experience, providing easier access to city services. And so far, our customers are loving the new space.
Today, the center offers a concierge feel in the way of reception, face-to-face interaction, 311 telephone support, online resources, and mobile app connectivity. To learn more, go to this page on the city's website.
An annual event that showcases sustainable living options is back again in 2019. Stacey Ellifrit has more on the South Sound Sustainability Expo, an event that holds activities the community can get excited about.
Last year, thousands of community members came together to find out how to create a more vibrant and sustainable South Sound. Back to apply this message again is the 12th annual South Sound Sustainability Expo.
There will be dozens of vendors, from government agencies to nonprofits to businesses, to explore all the ways that sustainability looks like in Tacoma. We also have interactive demonstrations, and we have a kids corner, as well as workshops and panels that people can attend.
Participants are encouraged to bring items to give them a second chance through the all-new Fix-It Fair.
We're really excited this year to be hosting one of the Fix-It Fairs put on by Zero Waste Washington and the Tacoma Tool Library. So you can bring in your broken items like small appliances, clothing, jewelry, even electronics to get it fixed for free by people in the community.
There are fun activities available for the whole family to experience sustainable living options together.
So once again, the lovely folks from Tacoma Nature Center will be hosting arts and crafts, and the Slater Museum will have some hands-on learning activities. A lot of our vendors also have a lot of interactive elements for kids to kind of explore and learn all the different ways that sustainability takes place in Tacoma. We're also doing a scavenger hunt where kids can go around to all the different vendor booths, and if they complete it and turn it back in, they get fun prizes.
Many organizations will be present to showcase their efforts to make our community a healthier place, and event goers can start their own sustainable practices even while attending the expo.
We're really encouraging people this year to bring their own water bottles, bring their own mugs. We want to cut down on the amount of single-use disposable waste that we create, and also the best part about being in the Greater Tacoma Convention Center is there's all kinds of sustainable transportation alternatives to get here. You can park at the Dome and take the link here. There's a lot of Pierce Transit bus lines, and you can also just bike and walk.
Celebrate, connect, and cultivate everyday sustainability by attending this free event on Saturday, March 2nd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Greater Tacoma Convention Center. There are many things to look forward to.
I'm most excited about our workshops and panels. We have a zero waste home workshop, we have a body-based mindfulness workshop, and then we have a local business and sustainable business panel that I'm really excited to see.
For Tacoma Report, I'm Stacey Ellifrit.
For event information, including a schedule of workshops and other activities, visit the Expo website. The Washington Department of Transportation is preparing to enter its final phase of the HOV project in Tacoma.
Up next, we'll learn what drivers can expect. Stay with us.
After years of construction, work on the final HOV segment in Tacoma begins in February. This final phase will design and build a wider Interstate 5 between the Tacoma Dome and the Puyallup River to make room for the new HOV lanes. During this estimated 3-year construction project, travelers can expect narrowed and shifted lanes and ramps on I-5, as well as nighttime lane and ramp closures. The project is expected to be complete in the fall of 2021. Stay up to date on HOV construction information by visiting the Washington State Department of Transportation's website.
Tacoma's Fireman's Park is closed now through March as the city flattens and removes trees and shrubs, rocks and timbers. This is being done to enhance the park's safety and make it more welcoming for park visitors. When the park reopens, public artwork will still be a focal point, and visitors will notice new fall prevention fencing in the park. The city is reminding residents that they should not clean encampments on a public property. Encampments pose health and safety risks to those in and around them. If you have an encampment in your neighborhood, please report it to the city by calling 311, in person at the Customer Support Center, or online at the city's customer service page.
We have to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll find out about a program helping kids learn to read.
We'll also take a look at a cool new exhibit at the Washington State History Museum that has ties to Pierce County. Tacoma area residents from all walks of life have contributed their time and love of learning by helping young students through Read to Me. Read to Me is a unique tutoring program where trained volunteers work with kindergarten through third grade students striving to meet grade level reading goals by the end of the third grade. By providing one-on-one encouragement and support, tutors help these young students to develop better confidence in their reading abilities, laying the foundation for a lifelong love of reading. Want to get involved? Visit the program page on the Tacoma Community House's website.
The Tacoma Arts Commission is now accepting applications for the 8th annual Tacoma Poet Laureate Program. The application deadline is 11:59 p.m. on Monday, February 18th. The individual selected as Tacoma Poet Laureate will hold the title for 2 years, from May 2019 to April 2021, and receive a $4,000 stipend for advancing and actively contributing to Tacoma's literary community in a meaningful ways through readings, performances, workshops, presentations, publications, and/or special projects. Visit the program website for more information. The City of Tacoma's Office of Arts and Cultural Vitality invited the community to a public conversation about Tacoma Creates, a voter-approved initiative to expand arts, culture, heritage, and science experiences throughout Tacoma. The program aims to reduce barriers to access and increase offerings for youth after school and in the summer. Attendees learn more about Tacoma Creates, its intended purpose, the parameters defined in the legislation to guide program development, and opportunities this funding could support as the city engages with the community to evolve Tacoma Creates.
And finally, Tacoma has a great reputation when it comes to the many marvelous museums we have. A new exhibit is now open at the Washington State History Museum, and as we see in this report from Lane Fickey, you are going to want to see and hear it before it's gone.
The new exhibit at the Washington State History Museum is all about McNeil Island, which of course is famous for the prison. But the display also features some unique information about that island that you may not be familiar with.
McNeil Island, located adjacent to Carr Inlet in Puget Sound, is only 11 miles from downtown Tacoma. But it could have seemed like a lifetime away if you were incarcerated in the prison there. This new exhibit gives an insight into what daily life was like.
One of the most amazing things about this exhibition on McNeil Island is that we were able to collect artifacts from throughout the history of the prison, from both folks who worked there and the people who were incarcerated there during various periods in the prison's history. It has a distinction of being the only prison in the United States that was both a territorial penitentiary, a federal penitentiary, and a state's correction center. What that does is it allows us to make connections between what was happening on a national scale to what was going on locally in the Puget Sound area.
Some notable convicts in American history spent time at McNeil Island, including Charles Manson, who reportedly learned to play the guitar there, and Robert Stroud, who later would become known as the Birdman of Alcatraz.
For one, it's a really compelling story in terms of the history of Washington State because it does span such a large period of time, and so it covers a lot of things that were happening in Washington State, Western Washington in particular, but it also connects that history to a larger national story about philosophies and practices and policies about mass incarceration in the United States.
What's unique about this exhibit is that local public radio station KNKX has created a 6-podcast series to go along with the exhibit and also examines the island's history. In addition to seeing what made up McNeil Island, museum officials are hoping the exhibit will touch an emotional aspect for the visitors.
We have a lot of records. We have a whole wealth of blueprints and logbooks and documents that tell us how McNeil was built, why it was built, all of the things related to the physical facility, but the voices that are often missing are those people who were incarcerated there or the victims of the people. And so we really are encouraging our visitors as they're walking through and listening and reading these stories to think about what voices are actually not present and to think about that in terms of the stories that are embedded here.
The McNeil Island exhibit will be on display at the Washington State History Museum through May 26th. For Tacoma Report, I'm Lane Fickey.
To find out more information about the McNeil Island exhibit and all of the other offerings you can find at the Washington State History Museum, visit their website. That's all the time we have on this edition of Tacoma Report.
A great way to find out about the services the City of Tacoma has to offer is by going to cityoftacoma.org. Until next time, I'm Angie Foster.
And I'm Laura Proctor. Thanks for watching.